What's up, everybody? This is JLee, aka Lt Cmndr John Lamarr, and you are watching A Planetary Diary, the making of a fan series. Boom.
Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Eric Moran, and I'm here for A Planetary Diary. Today, we have special guests from the Orville, Lt John Lamarr himself, the one and only JLee. What's going on, Jay?
What's up, man? I'm just cheering for myself here. Yeah, hooray.
So, man, listen, we want to thank you because, like I said again, it's a real honor to have you on. It's great when people that you respect and you admire, want to come on and show the love, that we're trying to do, and showing the love that we have for you guys and the production crew and everything that you do for Orville. So
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we definitely appreciate it because we would not have a show if it wasn't for people like you. So thank you.
Because you bring a lot to the table, not just as an actor, but as a filmmaker. And we're going to be touching on that in a few minutes. But before we get started, what inspired you to start acting?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like I was always in entertainment. A lot of people know I play piano, and I was always competing and doing that. So I was always on stage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at a certain point in college, after I broke my thumb, I was like, you know what, let me take an acting class. And then I kind of fell in love with it. And then that's when I decided to move to LA. But it was nothing that I really thought I was going to do growing up. But it kind of came to me a little later when I was in college.
Because I know you paid your dues on a personal level. I know you paid your dues a lot. What did you have to go through to get to the point where you're at right now?
Oh, it's very easy. It's so easy. It happens overnight. You know what? You can put in minimal work ethic. You'll shoot right to the top. I tell people, whatever you put in is what you get out. And if you only put in a little bit, you'll still make it. No, of course not. It's just a matter, it's the war of attrition. You got to make sure you're staying on top of your craft and your abilities, and also just not giving up and seeking out opportunities and seeking out other like-minded artists, filmmakers, writers, directors, producers, actors. I think, it's just a matter of sticking to it and always trying to get better, but I'm still paying my dues. I think you always pay dues,
Right.
As long as you stay in this industry, you continue to, try to elevate. So it's always going to be a consistent climb,
Now, I know some of the projects you've done your own projects on the side, because now you have, Typical Wednesday that just came out. It's a big hit. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure video on demand. Got to get this movie. It's great. And even with your own production with Run the Point Incorporated, and you doing like Two Black Dudes, which I became a fan of automatically, because it's just between you and Ahmed working together, you guys really bring a lot of truth. And it's cool because the dynamics between you two and everything else. But to do all that, because I remember you had talked about before how you wrote the story and everything. What is it like to see your works come to life, your writings, everything that you put together? What is that like for you when you see it come to life on the screen?
I don't have kids, but this is the closest thing to birthing something, is when you write something and then you make it. I think it's actually a really special process to be able to create something from here, put it down on a piece of paper, and then you hear people say your words and you shoot it and you see it out loud. That's why recently I've been doing my post, script to screen, to show the script itself, and then you see the final product. But I always find that process extremely gratifying, whether or not, what you make is a hit or not. The fact that you're able to create something out of nothing, to me, is really special.
One of the things I was curious about, because after seeing Typical Wednesday, how did you come up with the concept? What inspired you to write and come up with Typical Wednesday?
I was going to therapy every Wednesday, and I would see this white kid on the elevator every Wednesday, and we never really spoke, but we just had this sort of unspoken friendship. And one day I got in my therapist's office, and I was just in a really great mood, and she said, "Oh, you're happy today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just saw my little homeboy on the elevator, and it was this kid." And she looked at me like I was crazy, because she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Yeah, every Wednesday this white kid is my best friend." So then I went home and I thought about this as a really good movie idea, these sort of two strangers and they're complete opposites in a weird way, end up having a sort of crazy day together. But yeah, it was kind of based on, loosely based on a true story, which is how most of my projects are. A lot of my projects come from something in my life that inspired it,
I got a chance to check out the premiere when you did the premiere. You got a chance to show highlights and all. How did that come together, especially with everything that's going on with COVID and all, for you to be able to put that together? And it looked like it was a huge success.
We got pretty blessed because we found a window, and there was this really, really beautiful rooftop theater called the Montalban. And they had it set up where we could do a socially distanced premiere. We had drinks, it was outside, so, fresh air, people were spaced out, everybody wore a mask, you had to have a temperature check, all that. But it just kind of worked out, man. For like 6 weeks before the movie came out, I was like, how am I going to celebrate this?
Right.
Then I was thinking about just doing something in the backyard. And then it just so happened a week before, the theater hit us back and said, oh, we've been approved by the city, so we can do it. And since nobody else was doing these sort of events, I just decided to go ahead and produce it myself. So it kind of worked out, but we had to go out and get the backdrop, get everything for it. But the theater was amazing, and they really looked out for us.
Will there be a follow-up, or will it be a sequel? Or
yeah, I like to stay busy. Yeah, I got an idea for a sequel for that, but then I got a couple other projects I'm cooking. So what I'm trying to do is just line up as much as I can before we get back on set. So by the time we finish season 3, which is going to be dope, I can roll right into, my off season, I like to call it. So when I'm not doing Orville, I'm doing my own stuff. So by the time I finish my stuff, and Orville takes so long for post-production, I can film during that period of time. And then by the time I'm finished, I can go into post when we start, hopefully, season 4 of Orville. Wait, hold on. Where'd you get your shirt from, man? That's a fresh shirt.
This? All right.
Yeah.
So this, my boy Crisscross. So any of my fan films, I come to him. This right here is all part of my marketing for my series and stuff.
Dope, man. Keep going.
About the Orville, how do you end up landing the role for the Orville?
Seth. Seth and I were buddies. I worked at Family Guy, which people probably know. And we were just friends, and I was working on my own stuff, and he was cooking his own stuff. And, we were at dinner one day, and he said, hey, man, I got this project I wrote with you in mind. I don't know if you'd be open to doing anybody else's material, because I was working on 2 black dudes at the time. And I was like, yeah, sure. And it turned out to be John Lamarr, and then I went in, did the test. It was my first time doing the test with network and all that, but went in, did it. And I knew Scotty from American Dad, so we did our test at the same time. So we got to go in a room and bounce off each other and everything. And in the room, we just sort of, it was dope because we all knew each other anyway. Scott was close with Seth, American Dad. I knew Scotty. I was friends with Seth. Trying to think. Adrian, I knew separately. Didn't meet Peter until we got on the show, and now he's one of my favorite people in the entire universe. But yeah, so it was just, the thankfulness of Seth, man. He had an idea for something and pitched it to me, and I dug it, and the rest is history. Mm-hmm.
What can you say for the fans that want to know what's coming up in season 3, or a little hints of what's coming up in season 3?
It literally is like, I said this last season, but somehow this got even better. But every episode is like a movie. Right. And this season is even bigger. What we're doing in an hour and 10 minutes of television is stuff that you would see in theatrical big budget releases. And I don't know how they're doing it. Seth and Tom and Brandon and the entire crew, Luke, like, they are killing it, so and the storylines are really dope too. We got some really powerful episodes coming up this season. Okay. That I'm really proud of and excited for people to see. I've never asked this question to anybody, but what is the difference? Why do Star Trek fans embrace us?
Well,
what is the thing that's working, but then also what's the thing that's different that's also working? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, first off, it's a nostalgia thing, because people that came up in the 90s and everything else that saw it. The other thing is also, it's more of a more positive vibe from the colors, the way it's shot, the vibe of it. Plus, you got a lot of the Star Trek alum that are working on, Orville now. Seth definitely being one of a Star Trek alum from being on Enterprise. And I think also because it's not doom and gloom, but at the same time, you're touching on social issues that are not directly in your face, down your throat, but it's just about on the level, but in a way where you can relate to and understand, even if it's in the distant future. And these were the qualities that people loved about Star Trek, and what they love about the Orville is bringing back the things that people loved about Next Gen, but on a whole different level.
Got it. Okay.
Where the Orville is more or less like, it has a more realistic level where it's just like, okay, this can happen in real life. That can happen in real life. The only difference is in the future.
Got it. Okay.
Because we, matter of fact, we just had a panel a couple days ago, Virtual Trek, and we had an Orville panel. We were asking, they said, what was your favorite moment of the Orville? And then I had talked about how when you guys had the two-parter when you went against the Kalon, I said that brought me back to the best of both worlds from Next Generation. And I said the only difference was you guys weren't on season finale. You guys went into the next episode the following week. So we didn't have to wait 6 months to find out. It motivated me when I started writing Planetary Step. On a personal note, man, thank you so much, because a lot of people don't know, during the whole time where we're doing this COVID, JLee has turned around and has done everything on social media for karaoke to get, to keep the masses motivated, and himself, motivated and stuff. And he started this new program. You want to tell the audience about that, or you want?
Yeah, no, sure. It's called Do Better University, and basically I'm trying to get motherfuckers to do better. And I decided to start this school, and I don't know. I always post do better and do the work on all my posts, right? And at certain point, when you look at the world, you start to realize maybe a lot of people want to do better, but they don't know how. And it's not for a particular goal, right? So it's not like, I just want to do better at this thing. I just want to do better at this specific thing. It's how can you just do better as a human, right? Like how can you be? Yeah, we got about 20 students in there, I'd say total. Eric is a member of our first ever 6-7 week course. And this has been going, I don't know, I think it's going well so far. What do you think?
I think it's going good. It was funny because when you talked about it, and I remember when you talked about it, I said, yo, man, sign me up. I'm as someone who's also who's in therapy also, I'm not, there's no shame about it, but I'm also in therapy. It's cool when you have other people that have gone through the same thing, but at the same time want to motivate and inspire others, and not stay in a dark place and all, because just because they're going to therapy doesn't mean that you have to be in a dark place, and you got to be, you try to inspire other people to think beyond where you're at, and also for them not to limit themselves. And the people that are in the class, they, from all different walks of life, but also having different perspectives of things they've gone through, but they're also at the same time motivated and inspired, and Jay basically, and he's paying it forward. He's paying all the stuff that he's been through, the good and the bad, and he's trying to just help the masses and encourage the masses to do better.
Because I think that's your duty, man. I think I posted a quote on the Do Better University page that was saying, sometimes the best way to get is to give. I do have a life. I have a good life. I have a blessed life. I'm not rich. I'm not super famous. I'm none of that, but I am somebody who recognizes I'm in a position mentally where I feel like I'm extremely wealthy.
Right.
I'm extremely, extremely wealthy. I feel like spiritually, I feel like work ethic wise, I'm beyond rich, and I think that's something that everybody can have without having, you don't need $5 or $5 billion in your pocket to do better. Anybody could do better. Everybody should do better.
before we wrap this up, where can people follow you at? Where can people follow your work at? See your films. Where can they like find everything that JLee is doing?
My social media handle JLee Film, JLeeFilm. But also follow Do Better University on Instagram, and that's Do Better U, just the letter U. And then, you know, you can see some of the stuff there. I'm also a big fan of just giving out the game. You know, like I remember the first time I was on a TV show writing, I was like, let me just tell people how it was like to be in a writer's room, because why not? You know. So, but yeah, all my stuff is there. I try to stay pretty current and post and share the insides, the ups and downs of this industry. Because like I said, it only helps everybody if you can make it a little easier for the next person, you know.
Is there anything you want to say to your fans out there?
Man, listen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. You know, especially with the advent of this social media and being able to connect, you know, the fact that I'm even able to come on here and rap with you for a second and like meet new friends and fans. I tell you, man, I did Dragon Con last year, and that was the first time I really understood the sort of importance of the fan base behind the show. Because, you know, Comic-Con, we go down, it's such a swift in and out, we sign, it's like a whirlwind, interviews, and the next thing you know, we go to the little party and we fly back home. But with Dragon Con, that was the first time I was able to really like go on the floor and be around people, and I was out there kicking it, man. And everybody kept coming up to me and they were like, what are you doing out here on the floor? I was like, man, I'm out here kicking it with y'all. Like, I feel like I got invited to a cool kids party, man. So I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome.
Well, Jay, thank you so much for being on the show. And everyone, make sure if you like this episode, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for a new episode next week. And just remember this, every step you take is a planetary one. We'll see you soon, and boom!
Boom. All right, bro.